With that exclusive story, Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, received a secret payment of at least $400,000 to fix talks between the Ukrainian president and President Trump. That is the claim made by sources with direct knowledge of the matter who've spoken to the BBC. The payment, they say, was sent to Michael Cohen by intermediaries acting for the Ukrainian leader Petro Poroshenko. Mr. Cohen denies taking the payment. There were also denials from the two men named as intermediaries and from a lawyer for Mr. Cohen's alleged partner, Felix Sater. The Ukraine's president's spokesman also declined to comment. Paul Wood has this exclusive report.
Donald Trump's run for the US presidency was watched with alarm by Ukraine's government, dismayed by his apparently pro-Russian rhetoric. Then Trump had a setback. His campaign manager, Paul Manafort, was forced to resign, accused of getting millions of dollars from Russian interests in Ukraine. The leak that brought Manafort down came from the very top of the Ukrainian government, according to sources here and outside Ukraine. If that's true, the Ukrainians badly miscalculated, backing the losing side in the US election. So in early 2017, President Poroshenko was desperate to get talks with Donald Trump, but he was being offered little more than a White House photo op. According to a senior official here who has direct knowledge of what happened, Poroshenko instructed two close associates to open a back channel. That back channel, our source says, was President Trump's personal lawyer and trusted fixer, Michael Cohen. The senior official says Cohen was paid $400,000. A second source says it was more. There's no suggestion that Trump knew of this. We're told that Cohen got help from Felix Sater, a convicted former mobster once in business with Trump. Cohen is under investigation for paying hush money to a porn actress, Stormy Daniels, on Trump's behalf. Her lawyer says Cohen's bank records show he took money from US companies for access to the president.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that Michael Cohen took substantial sums of money and was selling access to the highest office in the land, namely to the US president. We have every reason to believe that there are additional payments that have not been reported yet from those with Ukrainian interests.
Thank you. Poroshenko couldn't hide his delight at meeting Trump and before Russia's Vladimir Putin. How many minutes he'd get was still being negotiated as he flew from Kiev. But this was more than just a photo op. And after Poroshenko went home, Ukraine's inquiry into Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, was steadily wound down. There was never a direct order to stop the Manafort inquiry, the special prosecutor in Kiev tells me. But, he says, from the way the investigation progressed, it was clear that our superiors were trying to create obstacles. Did President Trump's lawyer ask the Ukrainians to stall their inquiry? Perhaps he didn't need to. Poroshenko knew that to do otherwise, said one source, would be like spitting in Trump's face. The US is continuing its own investigation into Paul Manafort and Russian influence in the American election, but without help from Ukraine. Paul Wood, BBC News, Kiev.
Well, that report was produced by the BBC's Suzanne Kianpour.